All right, we are live. All right, welcome. I'm trying to do better at starting off Slice of Pie Tuesday without screaming at the camera saying, "Oh my God, it worked!" So, y'all, I am so happy. This week we have Erica Parker. I am so happy that you're here. Say hello, Erica.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. So, listen, I am going to try to do my best to read off some of your creds. And the
Okay.
reason I want to do that is because I need to let the people know who we got in the room. First of all, I am so grateful that you're here. This is huge for us, and I hope that anybody who's watching, you'll be able to learn from Erica while we're here. We're definitely going to talk about elevation, career development. I want to talk about as much as possible. I know there's a lot of folks who are looking for some coaching help, but just to introduce, for those of y'all who don't know Erica, if you don't, I don't know where you've been. So she is the VP of People at Circulo Health. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yes. So proven go-getter, works in the C-suite, has been a master at managing DEI, leading employee resource groups. Erica, for me, is one of those people who genuinely cares about people, which is, I think, why I have like a heart to come to you. She's one of those leaders that, absolutely believes in taking care of people and helping them to do the best of the best and be the best of what you are. I just love it. So we are so glad to have you here. I'm going to start off with just a little bit I want to talk about your track record in HR, but I want to just find out a little bit about who is Erica Parker.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh goodness, that's a hard one.
Heavy one.
All right. So the most important thing I always do, I am born and raised from Cleveland, Ohio. So I always have to represent Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where I'm from. But when I talk about myself professionally, I am someone who believes in leaders need to lead and allow their people to be great. I'm also seen that once I am focused on improving something or doing something, I go into execution mode and I get it done. Like I did say, gets it done on purpose, right?
Oh, yes.
I'm also someone that believes in like leading by example and actually like walking that walk and talking that talk and getting it done. And then I'm also someone that's not afraid to stand firm and challenge and ask the hard questions. Like you've seen it. I'm not afraid to be in a room full of 5 CEOs and tell them something's not working out right? So yeah. I believe in setting a personal accountability for myself, holding people accountable. I have very, very crazy, I call them crazy and wild, ambitious career goals. And so I really, really work on those every 6 months to make sure I'm striving towards my end of the goal. I've held multiple positions in HR. So I started off in high volume recruiting and retail, moved my way over to HR business partner work. And right now I'm in a VP of people work, but my I guess you could say my bread and my butter is like operational efficiency and employee relations. So I'm all about like how to make the employee experience better for employees overall.
So why did you go into HR? Like, how did you, because there's going to be folks who's going to be like, oh my gosh. So how did you choose that profession, or did this profession choose you?
Funny story. I don't know if it's a funny story, but it's a funny story to me. So in college, I wanted to be a CFO. Like I was focused in on, I am going to be a chief financial officer. You can't tell me anything. I took finance 101 and accounting 101 and was like, scratch that, wrong, back that train up, right? And I had an internship at a regional bank, and I had some experiences with the HR team. Won't tell the name of the bank, but those experiences were not good. And I was like, these are the people folk. They're supposed to like people. They should be able to help me. This is not what I expected. And I was like, okay, I can do this and I can do this better. And then so I changed my major to human resources in business, human resources in marketing. And upon graduation, got a job at another regional bank, started off in their HR department. And that's how I got into it. I really got into it because I had a really bad experience. And I was like, this might be the part of business where I can actually thrive in it. Like I can use my operational, I can use my mission, my driven, my focus, but I don't got to deal with numbers all the time. I got to deal with numbers like a little bit, but I don't have to be responsible for like balancing bets. So yeah, so that's what made me go into HR.
Okay. And you know what? The thing is like, it genuinely shows. I mean, again, I don't know for folks who have, whether they're seeing you on LinkedIn and just following through your career journey, it genuinely shows that you care about the folks that you're representing, which I think HR gets a bad rap. So I just wanted to call it out because I think that's really important, and it shows up in a lot of the other things that you're doing as well. So we're going to touch on elevation, but how did that even come about? Elevation Career Development. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And y'all, I'm gonna drop the link so you'll find out more. But tell us a little bit more about Elevation Career Development.
So that came about because I'm all about getting mentors and having multiple mentors for different phases of your life, professional, personal. I'm all about the mentors. I think I have like 5 mentors. One of my mentors heard me on the phone call, and I was giving someone some career advice and like walking them through how to do a career plan and a goal plan. And I was sending follow-up calls, and he was like, Erica, how much you getting paid for that? And I was like, oh, I'm not getting paid. I just do it because I like it. And he was like, Erica, you're giving away phenomenal nuggets of information that are going to get these people twofold on the back end, and you're not even getting a little piece. And I said, wait a second, should I be charging? And I talked to my mentor, and she's like, you're not charging? And I was like, no. She's like, Erica, you need to immediately get you an LLC because you need those tax deductions. I was like, check. And you need to start charging people. She's like, Erica, you do a really good job. You need to start charging people. And I was like, well, okay, you're right. I do. And so I hate to say it, generally, sometimes we don't charge for things that are tools and our gifts because we just want to help people, right? But I'm like, wait a second, I got 2 kids, a husband, a dog, and a house, and a mortgage, and a car note. I need to start charging people. And that's how Elevation Career Development got started. Just when you need to charge people. And I was like, you're right, I do need to charge people.
Wow. So who would you say is your target audience? And y'all, I dropped the link for Elevation Career in the chat, but who would you say is your kind of your target audience?
I would say our target audience is professionals between the ages of like 25 to 45. I would also say that we're looking for people who are at kind of mid to senior level. So you're not entry level, but you're not at the executive level, but you're like right below. That's our sweet spot. Now I do have we have 2 customers that are COOs, and I do have some entry level customers, but our sweet spot is that mid spot, because I feel like in that spot, that's when you're able to unlock all that potential. We want to get people while they're in that sweet spot so we can help them get to the next level.
Okay, so we got a little shout out to you in the room, and we can't see the names. By the way, y'all, we can't see your names unless you've signed up to StreamYard, so that's why I can't call you out. But just a note in here, Erica is an amazing example manager and person overall. So shout out to you. Thank you, whoever that is. Thank you so much for that. So I was creeping through your Elevation Career Development Facebook, and you had some things on there that I thought, first of all, were just really stellar tools. So you hit on a couple of things about, first of all, stop giving away your jewels for free, y'all. That's a lesson that I am learning. Okay. But there were a couple of things on here that I thought was really helpful. So can you talk a little bit about, there is a resume checklist that's available. What is that?
So there's a couple really great tools out there. So we have a resume checklist because we want to give people quick snapshots, quick snippets of information that can help them. Now, like we said, we're not going to give you everything for free, but we're going to give you enough to be able to do some things on your own. And if you need additional support, come to us. So there's a resume checklist. We have an annual review checklist out there. We have a list of like how to ask for a compensation review or a compensation increase. We have tons of different tools and resources out there, some that are free and some that cost like I think $5 or $10, but there's a lot of different options out there to help you be able to be self-sufficient if you're not ready to sign up for full career coaching.
Okay. What would you say is like maybe one of the most challenging questions that you're getting right now, because things are so different within the job market? Like, what are some of the most challenging questions you're getting from your clients?
I would say the top 2 questions is, Erica, should I stay at my job or should I go?
Okay.
And the next question I'm getting is, how do I ask for more money? I just found out someone else on my team is making more money. How do I ask for more money? I'm like, you ask. You open your mouth and you say, you deserve more money and here's my reasons why, right? Like, so those are the top 2 ones that I'm getting is, do I stay or do I go? And then how do I ask for more money? And so those are like my 2 favorite topics, because, you know, I'm all about getting my coins, Shelly. Like, I love a coin.
Oh,
I'm get all the coins. And I'm also big on people liking what they do and not just staying in a job because they feel like they have to be there. Like, I want you to be there because you want to be there and not because you need to hit the 5 or 10 or 15 or 25 year mark. Like, because times are changing. You don't have to do that. So those are the 2 things that are coming up the most often.
You also have, so I dropped the Facebook, and again, please go on and like her Facebook page, but also go to the main site, because I want to make sure, please bookmark these sites, y'all. But on the Facebook site, there was also, for those of us who do have, I confess, I am one of those folks that I have a tough time asking for money or really getting paid what I'm worth. there's a 5 steps to prepare for your compensation discussion. I think this is really, really timely, especially right now. We're in that mid-year. We're preparing for those mid-year conversations. So I'm highly encouraging everybody to kind of go check out these tip sheets. Listen, it's worth it just to make sure that you're getting the access to what you need. So I do have audience members. And again, for those of you guys, I'm watching the replay. I'm trying to get your questions. Try to get your questions in here so you can catch it on the replay. So we have members who are maybe entrepreneurs who are hoping to build teams, or folks from managers themselves. What advice do you give for giving and receiving feedback, especially when it's tough feedback?
So that's a really good question, right? And so one of the things that I always tell people is you have to be open to it. So for managers that are saying they want to receive feedback, you have to make sure your employees know that you're open to it. You also have to open the opportunity for them to give you the feedback, right? So even in my professional career, managers like, well, no one's ever told me that. I said, well, have you asked your employees? Have you given them the opportunity to give you feedback? Have you said anything like that to your employees? So what I tell managers is a simple way to do that is in your one-on-ones. You should be having weekly one-on-ones. If you're not, get those scheduled. And then part of your weekly one-on-one at the end, save 10 minutes for you to ask for feedback. So that way your employee knows that you're asking for that and they can prepare for that. And it's a standard part of your process. So that's for managers. Now for employees, you have to be comfortable giving the feedback, right? So what I tell employees is in a one-on-one, ask your manager, hey, you're giving me feedback. Would you be open to getting feedback from me? Right? And then phrase it. Now don't hit your manager with feedback when you and the manager then went back and forth on something. You've been late to work. You've been missed an assignment. You missed a due date, or you acted a stone cold fool. That is not the time to give your manager feedback. When you're behaving and you're an employee in good standing, then you should give your manager some feedback. But I'd say do it in a structured, non-emotional way. Write it out in advance. And if it's really hard hitting feedback and your manager needs to process, send them an update in advance. Say, hey, at our next one-on-one, I'd like to save some time at the end for me to talk to you about some things I'd like to share with you, have a conversation with you about. So you want to set people up for success. You don't want to catch them off guard. And what I always tell my coaching clients is always give people an out. Now, people give me a side eye when I say that, but no one ever wants to look like a fool. No one ever wants to get called on the carpet. I don't want to look like a fool, and I don't want to get called on the carpet. So I don't want to treat someone else like that. So always give them an opportunity to have an out, to say, sorry, I had a rough day. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Give them an opportunity to be a human and reflect and get out of that. Only give them one time. Wow. They do that multiple times, so I'm let them have it again. But always give them an opportunity to opt out or to be able to be out of that situation and let it be okay.
Okay. I love that. And the being sensitive, right? I think also being sensitive, and there's a couple of themes that being sensitive, and we're training people how we also want to be treated. So giving them the out. I appreciate that. Sometimes I need it out myself. So I love that. I love that point. So I wanted to find out, with all the work that you do, because listen, coaching and career development and all the work that you do, really serving your employees, I think, right? All of that, it's an incredible amount of stress on a person, right? So I wanted to know, like, what do you do to recharge, or what helps you become inspired to keep serving in the way that you do, whether it's at Elevation or at the other organization?
I would say the number one thing is I'm all about the self-care. Like,
okay,
I'm apologetic, I get my self-care in, okay? Like, I get it in. And so I also am big on prioritizing my day and setting expectations and maintaining those expectations, right? So I use my calendar for everything. If I have to drop off my kids, I make it known. Like, my team will tell you, Erica's dropping her kids off between 8:30 and 9. If you call her between 8:30 and 9, you're going to talk to Addison and Aubrey, and I don't know what mood they're going to be in, but you're going to talk to her, right? If you call me when I tell you my kids have a soccer game on a Friday between 3 to 5, I'm at the soccer field. If it's urgent, I'll answer you because those are working hours, but I'm at the soccer field. So I make sure my life matches the work, and I need to work for a company that's okay with that, right? Not everybody's going to be okay with that, right? So, when I worked at DoorDash, I would work sometimes from 10 to 4. I'm off between 4 to 7. I'd hop back on from 8 to 10 to finish things up. So I always look for organizations that allow me to have that flexibility, and I take full advantage of that flexibility. Let me be clear. My nails get done every other week, and I get a massage every single month, and I travel. So when I travel, vacation, I am on vacation. You see my LinkedIn post, I'm out the office because I trust my team. I trust my team. I trust my team. I'm out. So I feel like some people forget that it's important to recharge, and I'm one of those people that don't forget, and I'm out at least once a quarter.
Wow, I love that. There's a point that you just made about the company that you work for, and I think this is so important because there's a lot of folks that are in the job market right now, and as you're going through your interview process, this is gold mine. Make sure that you have a good understanding of the environment that you're trying to get into, because if they are not going to offer that level of support or flexibility, and you need that self-care to that very point, then that's not the right fit for you. So I love all of that. And again, a reminder for me to make sure I'm taking some days off. So as a leader, especially within the field that you're in, as an executive, what would you say keeps you up at night? Like, what are some of the things that's on Erica's mind?
So, now let me tell you, my business leaders aren't going to like this, but it's the real raw Erica. The thing that's top of my mind for me is my employee satisfaction and their happiness, right?
Okay.
And do my employees feel valued? Do they feel happy? Am I spending their proper time focusing on their career development and giving them what they need so they can give me what I need? Am I meeting with my employees? Am I showing up as a leader? Those are the things that are like most important to me. Yes, I'm thinking about the business goals and what we're focusing on, but at the end of the day, if my employees aren't ready to walk in the rain with me or step in a mud puddle without one shoe on, I fail, right? Like I can't be Erica Parker and be successful if my team doesn't like me, my team's not happy, they're all dissatisfied and staying in place, I fail. But if they're motivated, they're satisfied, they're happy, now working for me is not easy. Let me be clear, Shelly. You can ask my eyes. Not easy. But you learn a lot, you get a lot done, and they generally enjoy working with me. So that's what keeps me up at night, is making sure that I'm challenging my team and they're satisfied and they're happy and they're connected and they're in tune. Those are things that are the most important. The business priorities, those will come because they never stop coming, Shelly. One day, right? But as long as the team is in there with you and they're digging in the trenches with you and they're like, Erica, I got you. Here's my umbrella. You don't need your own umbrella. And I'm like, cool, thank you. Because my people know I don't like to get my hair wet. So they probably like, umbrella. I won't deal with her with wet hair. But like, as long as my team is like that, I can do anything.
I love that. The thing also that I'm going to just throw out as a best practice for me and what I know just working alongside with you, Erica, is that the amount of trust that you give your team and that empowerment that comes from that, right? Because you're not going to hire anybody who can't do the work. It's just not going to happen. Okay. It's just not happening. So that is something, again, another goal, another piece of gold that, you're hiring folks who can do the work, and then you trust them to get it done and empower them to make it so. And that level of confidence that builds within. So it really doesn't matter what project you're working on. If you know that, your boss trusts you to get it done and you're getting the support you need, y'all, that is, I think, is such a good marriage at work. Trying to make it work. Oh, y'all, there's so many jewels. Okay, my list is getting longer, and I'm trying to stay to my questions, but my list. Vanessa, thank you, Vanessa. She's saying this is her first Tipsy Tuesday, and she loved. Yeah, I'm all over your self-care too, because I think that's another area that a lot of us, quite frankly, we are forgetting to take care of ourselves. And we deserve that, right? That's just the nature of the beast. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our clients, we can't take care of our families, and that, it's just not going to make sense. So I wanted to shift to more of when I'm thinking about your legacy. So for me, because I am selfish and all up in your business, I see everything just really taking off with Elevation, because I absolutely see the fit with Elevation Career Development with just about all of us, right? And it really does, again, intern, young professionals, early career, folks who are leaving the career field. A lot of folks are transitioning into different roles and all of that. And I would love to find out from you, like, where do you see your company, as you're scaling the business? Like, what are some of the things that you want to do with Elevation? Because listen, if we're gonna help you get there, and she's gonna get paid. So what are some of the things you might have on the horizon, or where do you want to go with this?
One of the things that we just released literally on Monday is Elevation University. EU is what we're calling it. And essentially what we're going to do, we're testing it out for the rest of this year. So once a month, the second Thursday of each month, we are doing a 15 to 30 minute snapshot on different topics. So topics on career development, topics on effective communication, a topic on getting your coin, a topic on annual reviews. So we're releasing this content. One, it's free. So I say y'all need to join those while they're free, because next year I'm gonna be charging. So right? So free little nuggets of information to help you. Going back to your main question, but like, where do I see elevation going? I'm open to where it goes, right? Like I love public speaking. So when people reach out to me for public speaking spots, I'm all for it. I love it. I've never turned down an opportunity to be on a mic, right? I love coaching people. I love giving people tips and tricks. Like there's so many things in my world of being in rooms that not many people get to be in, that I'm hearing and learning things that the average person doesn't hear or doesn't learn. And being able to share those financial nuggets with people, I feel like it's going to set people up for continued success, right? So negotiating, I have a couple of female clients that got offers, and they're like, well, I think I might ask for $5,000 more because, I'm supposed to. I said, well, that's all you're asking for? Are you asking for a job? Are you asking for a bonus? Are you asking for that's all you asking for? Yeah. Or I had a client who was leaving a company and she gave them 3 weeks notice, and they asked if she could stay for a couple more weeks. And I said, well, what are they paying you to stay for an extra couple of weeks? She's like, oh, my regular salary. I said, no. You're extending your time. You need to ask for a retention bonus. You need to ask for some things. Give me your stuff. Give me your stuff. We need to look at your stuff. Right. So I think just people don't know what they can't ask for. And I didn't ask for until I was in the rooms, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can ask for that? That's okay. Oh, so now, now one of my mentors jokes, and she says, Erica, you negotiate like a man. And I'm like, I do? She's like, I hear you on those calls and see you. And I'm just like, okay, Erica. I'm like, I don't realize that, but like I've paid attention. I've learned enough in the rooms, because you can be silent person on the wall looking around. I'm like, that's what you do. Nugget, right? So I think I want my legacy to be that I'm helping people that traditionally would not get access to this information, getting access to it. Because I grew up, my dad's a retired police officer, my mom's a teacher. Access to business people is not like going in my living room and having that, right? My kids are starting to get access because of where I am, but I didn't have that access. So I can't call up a CFO or a VP of so-and-so because, we've been best friends for 20 years. I'm getting my kids exposure to that, but there's other people who are like me who still don't have that access. And I want to teach them and give them that access so we can continue to improve. That's ultimately.
I love that. There's also like a ring around the financial literacy part of it, as you're talking about understanding your value financially, which I think all of us, we all need to, I've been in the workforce. I'm going to get some free coaching for the rest of us. Okay. I've been in the workforce for quite some time. It's been over 20 something years. And I am just now learning what my actual value is. And I still get stuck with asking those types of questions, and I think this is again where, all of us, we're going to be signing up for the beta course in the beta university, because we absolutely we're going to get on this list, y'all. Drag your friends, tell everybody, but we're going to get on this list so we can figure out how we can do a better job of negotiating for ourselves. A lot of us, especially even HR, I will say HR professionals, if you're watching this, that we do a great job of upselling everybody else, but we do not do this for ourselves. And so we kind of miss that, right? Yeah, and someone in the chat saying we talked about this today about value. Yeah, you have to, you got to know your value, but then you actually got to get paid for it, and we need to get paid, y'all. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you some personal questions, because on Thursdays we have a teen version, and we talk to teens and about teens, or 2 teens or 4 teens. And one of the things that's been coming up with teens is trying to understand like legacy building. And there's some things that we're doing now as we're older, and we're trying to figure out what that looks like. So as a mom who is kind of a rock star, so I'm trying to keep it together, y'all, but Erica's a rock star, okay? So as a mom who is, doing so many amazing things, and I'm absolutely, working through the community and doing all kinds of cool things, what are some of the things that you think about around legacy and building that legacy for your kids? Like, what are you passing to your kids? And can you give the rest of us some advice on what we need to be doing?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a good question, and something I'm always like doing self-reflections on as I'm doing resetting my goals each quarter. Yes, I reset my goals each quarter.
I told you she was a rock star.
But what I would say is, I'm a first generation college graduate. Right. And so I saw how hard my mom and my dad worked to make sure that my brother, and I mean, we come from very, very humble beginnings. A school teacher, police officer, there are no big salaries in that situation, right?
Yeah.
What my parents had is very, very hard work ethic, and they did not play about schooling and getting things done. And so when I look back on like what I want to leave in the legacy, one, I want to make sure that my kids are financially comfortable and stable, right? So that's why I work as hard as I work. That's why I grind as hard as I grind. And that's why I get all of my coins, plus I add tax to those coins because I don't play about stuff. So I want to make sure that my kids are financially set. I want to make sure that my kids have a great example. And I want my kids to have a really, really great network. When I went into college, I didn't have a great network. And I'm going to give him a shout out on here. And he's going to see this and be mad. My mentor, Jay Russ, my very, very first mentor, my freshman year in college. He's an older white man. And I was like, what is this? What am I going to learn from him? I have learned so much from him. And I would never, ever tell him this to his face. You have to watch the recording. But the life lessons that he was able to teach me that I never would have ever learned before were priceless. And so one of the things that he always taught me is you're only as valuable as your network. If you do not have a network, you're not valuable. If your network is not being replenished and starting over fresh on a regular basis, which is why I mentor some college students and it keeps growing, right? As their network expands, because they've taken Erica 101, my network expands. So that's something that I consider to be a legacy that I'm leaving my kids as well. I'm going to leave them some financial stability because like I told you, I don't play about the coins. So I'm going to make sure my kids are not leaving college with student loan debt that my husband and I are left with and still have. I'm going to make sure my kids are taking financial 101 classes and understanding that. I'm going to make sure that my kids understand the value and how to balance a checkbook and how to pay bills and how to swipe a credit card. So I'm going to make sure my kids know some of those things that I had to learn the hard way. I'm making sure to get that information up front. I have open credit cards in my kids' names and kept making sure they graduate with amazing FICO scores. So there's things like that on the financial side that I wish I would have had exposure to as a kid that I didn't. And I'd say like when it comes to like community involvement, I want to make sure that the city and the community in which I live in is in a better place. So that's why I volunteer and I'm on multiple boards. That's why I volunteer and give community service hours. So I'm all about making sure that I'm not just working on myself financially, because I know sometimes you're like, oh, let's talk about money. No, it's not just money. I'm on boards. I'm just outgoing board chair for Women Helping Women. I'm on the board of the African American Chamber. Like, so I'm always making sure I'm using my treasures and my talents for good, because that's something I saw my dad. My dad coached every basketball team there was in Cleveland. I still have people come and be like, oh, your dad was my coach. I'm like, my dad coached you? What? Oh, okay. My dad coached every male in Cleveland for like 30 years. So everybody knows my dad. So he was always giving back because my dad said someone helped him, so he wants to help others. And so I've always kept that mantra when it comes to like hustling and working hard and things like that.
Oh man, can you please do a tip sheet that we pay for on children's, on the legacy piece that you just covered, and just the financial literacy part? I think that would be, again, not free, that you roll out, because that to me is like, that is the gold, like that's gold knowledge that you have, right? So anything that you could do to help us, and y'all, when you do it, please pay for this, okay? We're not about to get stuff for free that is of high value. The point that you hit on community, and you talked about board, and you talked about networking. Networking is another thing that if we can dig a little bit deeper into that, how do you maintain your relationships? Like what are some of the things that you do? Because I will say networking is kind of one of the things that I can say I got that one. But how do you maintain? Because it's very hard to do that, especially I think especially over the last couple of years where things have been more virtual and less face-to-face. Although I will say I've picked up more connections. But how do you maintain the network that you have and keep pouring into? And then when do you know when you need to back some folks out?
Oh, that's a hard. Okay, so I would say the thing is you have to be intentional, and you can't always be self-serving, right? And especially with LinkedIn, I feel like that's helped with like the professional networks, right? Because you can comment on their posts, how they're doing if you haven't seen them in a while. So LinkedIn essentially takes care of all that memory you used to have to do. I would say whenever someone has like an event or they're doing something like this, I try to make sure I'm showing up or give them a kudos or a share or a like or something to help with their impressions. When I see people in person, and no one ever believes me, and my husband's going to say I'm not telling you this, but I am an introvert that fakes.
I am too.
Like, so when I'm in a new setting, I don't like it because I'm like, okay, where do I know somebody? Okay. Oh, I know her. Oh, I don't know her. Oh, wait, she's in my sorority. Oh, wait, she's in my organization. Like, I'm always like, okay, there's got to be one person that I'm connected with. I'm in enough orgs. There's better be one person I know in this room. And I find that person, I hang on to their coattails. But then I use that to kind of help refresh my network and add more things into it. And then I would say, and so what was your second question? I lost it. Your second question was,
when do you remove folks from? Yeah.
So I don't necessarily tell people they're being removed from my network because you never ever know when you might have to cross against that bridge again. Like I always tell people, the grass might be green, but don't you burn that grass unless you scorch it and you know you're never coming back, right? So I've only ever removed like 2 people from my network, and they were pretty toxic. But I didn't tell them they were removed. I just stopped talking to them. Because the thing about it is in the same professional circles. I might see them at a networking event. I might see them at a conference. And I still want to be able to be cordial and be like, hello, right? Like I don't be like, you are no longer in my network, right? So that's one of the things I wanted to try to like make sure is like you're in the network, but like we don't got to talk on a regular basis. But like if we're in public, we can be cordial. And that's kind of what I do. And I have those people that are not in my close network. I keep them at arm's length. Actually, I keep them at building's length, but you know.
I think I ghost people. I'm gonna do better. In 2023, I'm gonna do better. I'm working on myself this year. But I tend to I let things expire. And if I'm not reaching out or I'm not responding, then you should probably know that we broke up. But I'm gonna do better next year, y'all. Oh my God. Yeah, I just go, okay, I'm out. I can't. So you mentioned your sorority. Do you want to give your sorority a shout out right quick?
Absolutely. I would love it. So glad you asked. I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. The best, the first. But yes, I'm a member of AKA.
Yeah, I can let that go, y'all. Sorry. Please don't, none of y'all come for me because I should have asked her at the top of the call. Please be kind to me. So thank you for doing the shout out. So a couple more questions. I try to keep folks on for about 40 minutes because again, I say this every time. I know y'all are trying to eat dinner at some point. We have a long discussion around footwear at a certain organization. And hello, Brian Kennedy. I think you'll appreciate this, Brian. There is a disturbance in the force when it comes to choosing whether you are a Crocs or a Birkenstock. No shade to either brand. We are not sponsored. But I would like to know, which one are you and why, Crocs or Birkenstock?
Okay, so don't y'all beat me off the thing. I'm neither. I don't like either. Okay, if I need a sponsorship, I'm like, you go get a sponsorship. But no, I never really got into the Crocs phenomenon. I know some people love them, but I'm just like, nah. And I know some people love Birkenstocks, and I'm just like, I am I love a Rothy. That's my go-to comfy shoe. Is a good little Rothy shoe. Washer. I got kids.
Yes.
Tracing around. So that's my shoe. So I'm so sorry about the Crocs and Birkenstocks. I don't own either one of them either. But if they're listening and they want to send me a pair, I will gladly do a spot for the comfort of them if they're comfortable.
Exactly. We are open to sponsorships. So please go ahead and send that. Is there anything in terms of signing up for Elevation Career? Again, we've dropped the link and we're going to post it on our learncoachmodelgroup.com site. So is there anything people need to know if they want to just get started or reach out or basically get some coaching?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. So I always recommend people before they sign up for the full coach, unless they just know that they love myself or my business partner, to sign up for the free career checkup. It's 15 minutes. We offer a free 15-minute career checkup, no obligation. You can talk to both of us, get to know one of us, and figure out who you think would be a good coach. Because coaching is a relationship. It's like dating. You should date multiple coaches to figure out who you like before you sign up for a coach, because it's an investment. The other thing is I say sign up for our mailing list. Whenever we're launching any free or, as you said, beta.
Beta.
Yep. Get on the mailing list because those are the first people to find out when to sign up. They're live on our website right now if you want to sign up for any of those online courses that you could take. And those, like I said, For this year, for now, they're free. Now, 2023, don't you be asking for them to be free. Now it's free. So I would say that's the quickest way to get some information is to do a free 15-minute checkup with us, sign up for our mailing list, and then feel free to sign up for any of those Elevation University courses that we have on our homepage.
Before I let you go, do you want to do a shout out to your partner at Elevation?
Oh, yes. My partner is Byron Neal. He's a working dad. We've known each other for about, I want to say 5-6 years now.
Nice.
He's one of my husband's frat brothers. He's an alpha.
Do you want to drop the, okay.
First fam, first. Okay, I won't go there. It's not a but yeah. So Byron Neal, he's great. He's just like similar to me. He's more in the DEI space. He's very direct, very forward. He would be a great coach for someone who's looking for someone that can kind of get them. He's an extrovert. So he is going to get you out there. He's going to teach you about networking. He's going to teach you about how to be able to leverage yourself in a career. He's done a very creative job of creating the career that he has today. And I feel like that's something that he could help other people with as well. I call him like a career architect because he's really good at like getting organizations, figuring out what he needs, getting into the right role and being able to leverage that. It's phenomenal. So I'm super excited to partner with Byron.
And I think because he has the exposure to DEI, for those of you guys who are, again, whether you're here, you watch the replay, if that's a field you want to go into, Byron is somebody you want to talk to. I'm just going to throw it out there because there's a lot of DEI jobs that floated, came open over the last year with folks who were not prepared for what they were walking into. So maybe y'all need to get in touch with Byron and get it together, okay? So that you can be successful in that job.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, this has been amazing. I am so excited that you're here. I think if I can beg, is to have you come back for a team version because there were just some things that you dropped that I think our kids need to hear and parents need to hear as well. I am so grateful for the time that you spent with me, Erica. Everybody, please make sure you go and visit the sites. Like I said, we'll add your company to our corporate site as well so that you get some more visibility. But please go check out Elevation Career Development. Make sure you sign up for all the free information, free right for now. I keep saying just for now. And then again, as you're thinking about all of the exposure, different coaching, we all need it, y'all. So it doesn't matter what level you are at your company, what job you are, where you're located, any of that. Make sure you're signing up for all the resources that Elevation Career Development has. So with that, Erica, we're going to tell them deuces and then we'll hang out in the studio. Bye, everybody.
Bye.